Look at this. I got headphones on. I got a mic going. Baby.
If
Huh?
only people could see you now.
Hey, no video. We've gone through this before.
All right,
No
all right,
video.
all right. Welcome to This Commerce Life. This is a podcast aimed at small, medium entrepreneurs focused on commerce. I'm Phil, your host, and Kenny, your co-host, will join us as well. And we're going to talk to you about the world of retail and commerce and how things are changing in the world.
Post the video on YouTube, but we don't really do that now. We take the audio and then splice the
Which
audio out.
Way better. I'm not a video person at all.
I think we figured out that as much as we don't mind being on video, I don't think anybody actually wants to see us on video. So,
Plus, there's the whole wardrobe thing. And,
there is. Yeah.
I think people should wonder, what are they wearing from the waist down?
Oh my gosh. The number of conference calls that I've made, right? Where, you're kind of like, I got a shirt on, but oh my gosh, like, don't stand up. Whatever you do, there's always a moment, right? Where you're like, oh no, I stood up, right? Everyone noticed, just nobody said anything. So
does he know he's not wearing pants?
I know. It's kind of embarrassing. So,
but
oh my gosh. Yeah.
The fun times of conference calls.
I know. Man.
My phone keeps slipping.
Oh yeah.
I need a prop.
Are you in Vancouver as well?
Yes,
Okay.
I am.
Got it.
I am.
Got it.
Do you know the history of Kenny and I?
No, I know nothing about the two of you.
Okay, I don't know if it's going to be recorded later or if it's going to even come up. But he was one of those scary guys when I was a little new, local company that I was lucky enough to get a meeting with.
Yep.
And shaking in my boots, I thought I had to make a good impression.
Yeah.
And, going to have to schmooze and do my spiel and kind of suck up, right?
Yeah.
When you want to get into a store like London Drugs, I'm like, I don't know how this is going to go.
Yeah.
I don't play those games of, what I can do for you. It's like, this is a great product and I hope you love it.
Yeah.
And the introduction came from my cousins, and he's like, oh, I know Jose and Maria. They're like family. And I'm like, okay, that's why I got this appointment. There's a little bit of
I love it.
favoritism here.
I love it.
But it put me at ease. And everyone else who thinks it's totally scary, I still let them think that because they're not going to be as lucky.
Well, it can be, right? Like, I think, like calling on Kenny, it was like that, but you did have, I don't know. I mean, honestly, having called on some of the guys out here, the Loblaws, the Walmarts, the Shoppers of the world, not to name names. The first time I called on a Shoppers buyer, he threw me out because I didn't bring him a latte.
That's just a jackass.
Yeah.
No,
seriously.
Really.
Yeah, seriously.
And this is what we're here to warn everyone about.
Yeah.
I don't
So
play
you
that
said nice
game.
things about me, I assume, right? Is that?
Oh, you're here.
You
Oh.
just got on just
crap.
in time.
Oh, crap.
You missed all the bad things we said about you.
What time did you guys start?
Oh, we started like half an hour ago. We're done already.
Jeez Louise, man. Like, what the hell? Like,
Kenny,
Keeners?
would you?
I didn't even have my cup of coffee.
Coffee at 8 o'clock at night?
Oh, God, I'm Italian.
Doesn't affect you.
No.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to calm down anyway. So, like, where the hell somewhere, how much?
Well, we were at the point where I said Kenny would agree and is here to warn everyone they're all jerks.
So, buyers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, buyers can be assholes.
Yeah. Buyers can be.
But I was lucky enough to be on the opposite end of the desk from Kenny. And I was like, I felt comfortable.
Yeah.
I felt like I could just talk to him and he was genuinely interested in helping me rather than power tripping. Because I've come across that too.
Yes.
They're holding the fate of your company in their hands. Right there.
That's the problem. That's what the problem with buyers, though.
Yeah.
Is you forget that it's not what it should be about, right? It's not. I mean, the buyer knows they have the pen. So the power is in the buyer's hands.
Yeah.
That's a given. But
Yeah.
it doesn't mean you have to be, 100, 0, 90, 10. You could be 51, 49.
I agree.
Can't be 50-50. You know that. I always have to win.
Yeah.
I was telling someone that today. They said, what do you like as a buyer? I said, well, relationships are critical. And they said, well, everybody's allowed to win. I said, yeah, as long as I won more.
No, yeah.
A little more.
Yeah, at least a little.
1%
More is more. It doesn't have to be a lot. I just had to win more. That's how it works. That's
okay,
why
so when we say win-win, you want a specific percentage of this win. That's what you're saying.
Well, I just want more than half.
51%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to win more. That's all.
It's honest.
It's not complicated.
I like it.
It's real.
I like it. Okay, so let's do this. We've got some.
So like 10 minutes in, now you're gonna do introductions.
Yeah, we absolutely have to do. Yeah, we have to do that.
See how planned we are, April? This is how you do things, man. You write an agenda and a script, and you stick to it, man. You
And
don't.
a business plan?
Yeah, right. This is how you roll.
Really?
Yes.
When you're in the big leagues with me and Phil, this is how you roll.
She already figured us out. This
Yeah,
is
I know. Pretty much.
I've leveled up already.
Yeah, one signs on late. Yeah, it's all good.
all right. So listeners, you figured out we have a guest tonight. Kenny, do you want to introduce?
No, you go ahead. Let's
No,
light
do
it up.
Do it.
April is the founder, owner, presidente, queen of the world of Granola Girl.
Okay.
Which is really, really great granola. How long have you been around now?
8 years.
Is it 8 years? Really?
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
When
Am
did
I
I
aging us?
When did I list you? Was it that long ago?
No, it was 2013.
Oh, wow.
So about 5 years.
Anyway, so it's a wicked product.
Okay.
Really good product, very tasty. Amazing that it does as well, considering it's only one SKU,
Okay.
which is pretty bizarre in retail. That's pretty tough to do in a category that's, dominated by 12,000 SKUs.
Yeah.
Granola isn't 12,000. Cereal is
About
12,000.
6,000.
Cereal is, yeah.
Come on, there's so many granolas. Are you kidding me? There's so many granolas on the market.
But local.
Local, yeah, to your point, but and good. It's just a good product.
Thank you.
It is. It's a good product.
So
No, I have no problem saying that.
I'll take it.
Product.
So
Yeah.
April, welcome to the show. Do you want to tell us a little bit about you and about Granola Girl?
Sure. Well,
We know London Drugstore.
how long do we have?
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
about a 45-minute show. I got to get a nap in.
London Drugs was the second major retail carrier that
Okay.
took us on.
Okay.
And yes, I founded Granola Girl in 2011. Been doing it, been growing it. We're across 300 stores, Western Canada, trying to get out east, trying, hustling.
Okay.
And besides that, I've learned to really love and appreciate entrepreneurship, local small businesses. I want to help them. I've turned to consulting, now doing life coaching, because we know, it's not just about the business you own. It really overflows into your life, and people need help with that. It can be very overwhelming. So I've dived into that a bit and actually doing more of it, and I love it.
Oh, you're one of us. I like it.
Well, not you anymore.
Hey, I'm still there. Easy now.
You went full time, baby.
Easy now. Hey, I
The world
went
of
double time, not full time. I went double time.
I don't know.
So
Double times mean you're on vacation technically, but you're still working.
I took a full time job, and then I'm consulting and doing the whole bit, and
Phil doesn't sleep.
yeah, I
Double
don't.
dipping.
Yeah, I do. I double dip. So
That's all good.
yeah. So you're in 300 stores, which is amazing. And then so tell us a little bit about Granola Girl. Like, how did that come about? What it is? It's one SKU. We know that. Yeah.
I know one SKU can be a good thing or a negative thing, but that's what it is.
Okay.
I've got my reasons, and we'll get into that. So the background is I had a wedding cake business for 12 years that I ran because I had 3 kids in 3 years. So they're quite young, going to, a lot of after school activities, 3 different schools at one point, working from home. And that's what I knew I was great at. I grew up in a bake shop. My parents owned a bakery in Vancouver.
Okay.
So I felt like just food was in my blood. It was in my DNA, and I was good at it. But what I really found out I loved was customer service. I really loved working with people and making something very meaningful to them, like their wedding cake. So fast forward to 2008, I get on a health kick. I'm paying attention to my diet, my health, working with a personal trainer, getting introduced to what was called then superfoods, right? Like goji berries, hemp hearts, all these new natural organic ingredients, and learning about that and how I can apply it. He gave me the task of, hey, you know what? A great after workout snack would be, something like this, a smoothie. Oh, hey, why don't you come up with a granola bar using goji berries, hemp hearts? But after I found out through much trial and error, these granola bars wouldn't stick together unless I added more sugar. And I didn't want to do that. So we ended up with cereal at the end of the day, and it was quite good. And I gave it to friends and family, and someone said, hey, you're now the granola girl instead of the wedding cake girl, which was called April Cakes. And the name stuck. And that was it. I joined a craft fair, started giving out some samples, and people bought it up.
Nice. I like it. And then, okay, so how long did it take you from, because I think that your story is a pretty traditional kind of like, here, I started from scratch, to where I am now. So how long did it take you from when you first started, when you started giving it away to friends and family, and that the moment you signed up for a local fair, how long did it take you to go from local fair to kind of your first major retailer?
So I initially had a business partner who worked at Whole Foods.
Okay.
And she said, you know what? Whole Foods is totally open to these kind of things. I had converted her. She never liked granola until she tried mine. And she's like, why don't we take it to Whole Foods?
Yeah.
And that's when they said, okay, well, we're not going to sell a white coffee bag that isn't properly sealed, that doesn't have nutrition facts, labels, ingredients, and most importantly, barcode, right? And I'm like, oh shit. Okay, now I got to get my act together. I need insurance. I need a legitimate, licensed kitchen. I can't make it at home.
Yeah.
I need to level up and decide, is this something I'm going to invest my time and money and energy towards?
Yeah.
And how badly do I want this? So that's where a crossroads is, right? You're like, you can take something you do well and your friends and family love it, and you can continue doing that or selling at farmers markets, or do you go big? Right? So
how do you because I feel like that's the question that everyone's going to ask, right? Because that crossroad moment of whether you jump in with both feet is I think it's when
Kenny
Kenny
should chime in here. I'm like, what would you say?
I tell you, Kenny's a jump both feet in. Even if one foot was tied behind his back, he'd figure out how to hobble in and jump in. So
okay, that's what you would say. But after my most recent conversation, I would say, Kenny would say, are you crazy? Why would you want to do this?
Why would you
isn't
go
that
into
funny?
retail?
Okay. See?
Kenny.
Settle this, Kenny.
What is going on
what
here?
What would you advise?
I leave you alone for a week and what do you change all your answers now? Who is that over there? Like,
I don't know. I just lost you again. My internet went down again, Phil.
Really?
You've missed everything we just said about you again.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm getting used to this. I think
anyway.
Apparently I don't even need to be here. So I'm gonna go make my coffee.
You
and
gotta
I'll just
settle
join you guys later.
We gotta, put a handshake to this.
Oh my gosh!
Because I'm gonna be off my own podcast before you know it. It'll be April
Kenny,
Phil.
Really? What would you do here? What would you jump in, Kenny? Like if you were,
I have
a granola guy. Would you?
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I mean, you know what? What the hell, right? Do it.
Yeah. But I'm going to pick at this a little bit because I feel like there this is the moment, right? Like this is the moment when, you know, like everyone gets this is a moment that you can tell entrepreneurs from, you know, kind of hobbyists, and like our friends at Shopland Health, they do this on the natural health side, and they're helping people that want to jump in with both feet. What do you read as road signs here? You know, there's
For sure.
you know, for entrepreneurs, you know, like Kenny and I, we talk about this every week. We just have gut instincts that kind of go, now is the time to go in. Now is not the time to go in. You know, how do we mitigate risk to get in there? What did you read as road signs for you that kind of like made you go?
So I greatly and truly believe in going with your intuition, right? And going with that gut. Even, or I would say up to where it gets to that point when this is pulling you and compelling you so much that you can't ignore it. And perhaps I'm going to assume Kenny's answer would be dive in, because 20 years from now, you're going to still wonder, should I have done it, and live with the regret.
Could I, would I, and didn't is the worst case scenario.
Yes.
It really is.
So do it. Yes.
Yeah.
And you're crazy.
Yeah.
All at the same time.
So my answer to that would be, when it becomes a vision that's bigger than you really feel it. It just overtakes your entire being. And as much as you want to say no, and all your friends and family who deeply care about you are saying, don't do it, you can't not do it.
Because you owe it to yourself to do it, really. You know, at the end of the day, you know, that chance, I mean, you know.
Yeah. Do you think owning the other business helped, though? Because you'd already done it.
No, I couldn't. But that was at that was a hobbyist level. That was like my
level, but you're doing
side
cakes.
money.
You're doing cakes for, you know, a hobby level, doing cakes for a kid's birthday.
You're true.
You know what? You screw up Snoopy and make him Woodstock. Not the end of the world.
True.
You know,
I was feeding 1,000 people cake.
Yeah,
like
and
at one
you
point.
scoop a wedding cake and with the bride in the wrong mood, it could be the end of the world.
Yeah.
Right. So it's one of those. I wondered, like, do you think that it helped you? Like even that jump though, like to just, you know, to take. So you work in you grew up in a baking family, you know how to bake. Well, big deal. Lots of people grow up in restaurants and know how to cook and still don't do it. Like you had some gumption and some.
Yeah.
You know, some.
And I learned a lot.
I'm going to do cakes for weddings. Like who does that?
But I knew I didn't want to have. Oh yeah. Well, and this is how I got smarter, right? Work smarter, not harder. You don't want to be working, you know, in the business. And I know that you want to have someone or, you know, staff to help you so that I'm not stuck in the kitchen. But I was going to say, I learned from my parents. I learned from other people who had bake shops. And I knew I didn't want to be in a retail bakery, standing there for 12 or 16 hours waiting for the customers to come in. My personality reflects that I am out in the field. I am out and about, going from meeting to meeting, delivering my granola instead of waiting for people to pick it up.
That's a lot of work, though. That's a tough gig.
I think.
Yeah, but I'm not a desk person.
Yeah. I think that I think if you're an entrepreneur, you're listening and trying to figure out if you're jumping in, like the things I heard from both Kenny and April is I think this is about putting a bit of science to mitigating risk, right? Like, you know, because your intuition says you got to go, but the science behind it is, you know, I'm going to go, but I'm not sitting on my ass, and I'm not going to wait for people to come to me. I've got to do the things that I do, right? Like be true to the business. So if you're going to take the risk, you know, because for, you know, a hobbyist, it's the biggest leap you make, right? Like you're in for packaging, you know, you're in for a barcode, you're in for, you know, like
money. You're
looking at like 10, 15 grand just to get invested, let alone, you know, actually risk some money, right? So I think like the things I heard from you, the intuition part of it is, how many things can I take off the table that are wild cards, right? So hustling, getting out into meetings, like taking the granola to them, that's all about mitigating risk, right? Because that's about like, look, I can control all these things. So what's left?
Well, you can't control it. Actually, it's really hard to go to a bank without projections when you have no history.
Yeah.
So that's like really risky when you're putting your own personal finances on the line. And these are the factors that have to be considered when you're going to quit your job and start a business. I would first of all say, don't quit your job. You're not going to make income for 2 or 3 years possibly. So how are you going to feed yourself? Where is that income going to come from? So perhaps, have you had that conversation with your spouse? Do you have a nest egg? Do you have a line of credit that you can access so that if the bank says no, there's still an option?
Yeah, you've got the ability.
You're going to beg, borrow, and steal.
Yeah.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah. Or you eat granola and cake for the 2 years.
That you can make yourself. You don't even have to go buy it. You just make it yourself.
Granola for 2 years is not such a bad idea.
I like cereal. I can eat cereal all day.
Healthy lifestyle.
It's the West Coast diet.
Exactly.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I was going to add to that.
Yeah.
So after the intuition,
knowing
if this is for you, you have to decide what are my strengths? What are my inner gifts that can be brought out and leveraged in creating a business? Because if you are the timid, introverted type that is happy to be in the kitchen and not face to face with the customers, do you have the ability to run a business and put yourself out there if it scares you to death every day to stand in front of people and pitch? If you don't have that confidence and belief, not only in yourself, but your product, that this is the best thing you're ever going to put in your mouth today or ever. And that's why you need to sell it. Otherwise, you're losing money. There's money on the table. There's a great product and you're saying no.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do that? And who has the balls to say that all the time, right?
It's hard.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is not easy. That's why, I know people think it's, you just go start a business. It's hard. It's your money.
Yeah.
Did you ever come across someone who was, on the other end of the desk who was too nervous or too scared, and you're like, yeah, it's a good product, but I don't know if you got it in you?
I had people
handle
like that.
all of these rejections. Yeah.
I had people like that. You know what I used to tell them?
What?
Here's a couple names. Go hire them. You don't need to be
speak
the face,
on your behalf,
right? If you can't be the face, then don't be the face.
Don't be the face.
Yeah. We always, I use a lot of sports analogies a lot of times too. If you're a centerman and the goalie goes out, you're not going in goal. Yeah. You're going to be a shit show in goal. Don't play it. If you're a coach, you don't put the goalie at center. You don't do stupid things.
Yeah.
You play to your skill set as best you can. Sometimes, you have to play other positions and you got to move around a bit. And that's life. Like sometimes you're the accountant, sometimes you're the janitor, right?
Yeah,
sometimes
you're all of them.
But you got to do it
buying toilet paper.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you got to be good at. You got to know what you're good at.
Yeah.
So if you let's say your husband was really into it and he's a good spokesperson or whatever, at that point it's up to you. You could say, listen, I'll bake, you go sell.
Yeah.
Right. Or if it's a friend, or maybe it's a somebody you bring into your business. Because you're not good at everything. It's just that's I don't know anybody like that.
Well, I love that, because know your role.
Know your role, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, and move on.
Yeah.
And outsource all the others.
It's hard though.
Yeah.
It's hard because you got to trust somebody now, and then you're worried about this, and I think I could do it better.
And they're the face of it. Who's the face of the company, right? People don't remember my name, but they'll call me, hey, Granola Girl. So
even better.
Okay. Yeah.
Even better, because April's not on the bag. So quite frankly, if they call you Granola Girl, you got good odds of buying the product.
Yeah.
If they call you April, thinking, what's April? Oh, I can't find April on the shelf.
Yeah. That's amazing. So,
nice.
So you got listed, so you started selling. You jumped in, kind of
Whole Foods first.
And so, how long did it take you to go from kind of this white bag that doesn't close properly to barcode labels, retail ready packaging?
Yeah, that was the new uncharted territories I had to learn about and educate myself on. And this is another crossroad where people will decide, am I up for this new learning? Because it feels like a new education, right? You're taking like business, 101 in real life. and you say, do I have the money for this? Okay, so I have to order 20,000 units of bags and new plates.
Yeah.
And I need to buy insurance. I need to get a commercial kitchen, sign up with GS1, and CFIA might catch me if I don't do my proper labeling.
Yeah.
So those, I just counted them on my fingers, about 7 things. If one of those becomes way too daunting, you're going to shut down.
Yeah.
If you can't handle that, okay, well, you've ordered 20,000 bags, you've got a mistake. Oh, by the way, you can't declare that. You have 6 months to change it. That's another 20,000 bags. I've probably, I don't want to put these bags in the landfill. So now I'm going to make tote bags out of these bags to recycle them. Now I've got, shopping bags to sell.
Yeah.
So I want to tell people that it's not just 1, 2, 3 step, and they're not easy steps.
Mm-mm. I mean, that's 7 like major
Huge.
major
That could
steps.
take 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
Finding the right designer, paying the designer.
It's all that too. It's all the pain stuff. You got to pay for things.
Website. Yeah, that's a $30,000.
The bad guy doesn't wait. Eh? The bad guy wants the money.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say, show me the finished product.
Yeah.
We haven't guaranteed a PO. We haven't listed you yet. So go and invest in 20,000 bags and show us the finished product.
Yeah.
Then we'll have a conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe.
What?
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then maybe. Yeah.
Maybe.
We're crazy. Oh my gosh.
No, you start going through it. It does take a level of irrational silliness to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Really
it's all fun. It's all good in the hood, but it's.
And by the way, you will never get that bag perfectly right.
No.
Ever.
No.
Ever.
How many people are
always
going
to
to
start with a new set of plates.
Yeah.
And everybody tells you how bad it is, and everybody points out all the mistakes, and everybody tells you all these wonderful things. As you're looking at it thinking, you haven't put a dime into anything in your life, zip it, talk to someone else.
Yeah. So I want to ask about that too, because along the way, you're learning as you go. Did you have did you kind of have a cohort of trusted people that you on speed dial that you would call? So Kenny and I, we've been hanging around each other for a couple of years now. And so, when I've got a retail thing, I'm picking up the phone, I'm calling Kenny going, dude, have you heard of this? What's going on? Do you know someone? That sort of thing, right? But when you start as an entrepreneur, it's kind of key to have the right resources, right? Like it's great if mom and dad are supporting you and they're kind of cheering you on, but no offense to mom and dad, but they might not know anything. But they might not know anything about retail, right?
Oh,
like
exactly.
So
mom and dad's give you a hug when you finish 50th in a 50-man race. I mean, it's really not. It's lovely, and thanks, mom. But
trophy every time, right? Like,
who cares?
So did you have people that you trusted along the way that you were kind of people, go-to people, or did you kind of because I think we see entrepreneurs that sometimes they have people like Kenny and I, or you, right, where they trust you and they kind of like follow along, or they could have people that are critical to each stage in the process. So someone that understands packaging now, and then maybe you talk to a guy like Jimmy who understands sales and brokers, for another stage in your development. Did you kind of have key, consistent key people or different key people?
This is so interesting to hear, Phil, because when I think about who I had nobody at the beginning. Okay. I was, again, chartering this boat with no guide, had no clue where I was going.
Yeah.
And that really is a crazy thing to do. Most people will say they feel encouraged, right? Or someone is saying, yeah, I have a connection. I can get you in here, do it, and I'll help you, and just ask me anything.
Mm-hmm.
And oddly enough, I'm thinking, I didn't have any mentors then, and I was really desperately looking for them. Okay. So what happened, because entrepreneurship is very lonely, I created my own networking group of other women entrepreneurs, not necessarily in the business,
Yeah.
but who were also self-employed, who could understand the challenges,
Wow.
the struggles.
That's amazing.
Who's your web designer?
Yeah.
You know, where do you get packaging? And I knew people in the industry that I could ask, but that I couldn't necessarily confide in or lean on for the other soft stuff, like the emotional stuff, right?
Yeah.
And this is where all the other women came in.
That's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. Okay, and then I want to hear about the big break. So who was the first retailer that picked you up?
It's going to be Green's Market.
Okay.
In Kits, they took it in those white coffee bags with the window.
Oh wow. Okay.
And then Whole Foods was next.
Okay.
That was not easy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because there was change of management, and because they got bought. Capers got bought by Whole Foods, and then recently Whole Foods got bought by Amazon. So again, there's a lot of turnover, and one person who says, "Yeah, meet me in 3 months," is no longer there. You got to start from square one.
You start all over again. Yeah.
So after that, we got confident, and I went into, I hustled. I pounded the pavement, Thrifty Foods. I went into Save On Foods.
Okay.
And that was the big break.
Okay.
I know this guy. You might even know him, Ryan Dennis. He was at Whole Foods Save On Foods Park in Tilford.
Yeah.
And there were champions in there. Shafiq, there was another woman, Alana. This is the store that brings the small guys like me to the forefront. And they put on events. They have the customers meet us. They sample our products. We show up for lots of demos. The store really supports us in promoting local.
Okay.
If you do well in a few key Save-On stores, they try you out. DSD.
That one in particular.
Yeah.
That one.
Park in Tilford.
I'm doing a list of them tonight.
There's also the Canby location. They're the high performing stores, right?
Yeah.
South Point.
So for the audience, these are all Vancouver-based stores. I mean,
Vancouver-based stores that have managers that are allowed because of their tenure and experience to cheat the system, for lack of a better, where they can deviate from planogram and deviate from what head office says, and they're allowed more discretion. There's 180 save-ons and like 5 have discretion, true discretion, and the 175 toe the line. And you're lucky you got into a good one, because that store is a good store. And it's a great testing store.
Yeah.
So when you can prove yourself.
Absolutely. They're advocates for the small local guy, 100%. The chain may not be at all times, but that store in particular, 100%. 100%.
Definitely.
So kudos to Park and Tilford Save On Foods.
Yeah. That's so now fast forward, you've got 300 plus stores. Right.
So you go from DSD to warehouse. So, warehouse is like the Yellow Brick Road golden ticket.
So hang on, just one pause. So for listeners, DSD is direct to store. So that's the store orders, and then Granola Girl basically delivers it straight to the one store. So for 1 or 2 stores, it's no problem. You start hitting 10 stores, becomes a logistical exercise, right? And then you kind of anything beyond 10 stores, and it really becomes
well, now you're
it's a whole family affair, right? Like it's a lot.
I'm not driving to Nelson for deliveries.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
So direct to store. How many stores did you get to before you kind of went, okay, that's enough direct to store, I got to figure out how to do the warehouse thing?
Probably every store in Vancouver. So maybe 15, 10 to 15.
Yeah. Okay.
As far as I could deliver, Richmond, Steveston. This might not make sense to all the listeners, but
that's
within the greater Vancouver area.
Yeah. So Richmond and Steveston. So, kind of like an hour to 90 minutes out of the Vancouver core, give or take, right? So, if you're a listener, the geography doesn't matter, but the logistics does. You're looking at
like being downtown and driving out
stores and then driving
Hamilton
90
driving to
minutes
Asia.
away. Yeah.
It's not next
Yeah.
door, but it's not far.
Yeah.
But it's not next door.
Well,
Right?
it gets awfully complicated, right? Like you start,
afternoon.
you're juggling, like, cause it's not uniform, right? Like you have 10, 12 stores. They don't all show up with their order at the same time. They don't all order the same quantities. Sometimes they change their mind along the way. Like there's kind of like this whole just jumbled mess of like, oh my God.
And they expect you to be there tomorrow.
Yes.
Or yesterday.
Yeah.
And then you got kids and you're delivering.
There's no lead
time. It's a gig.
Okay.
You're delivering between errands.
Yeah.
I deliver to a store and then I would do my grocery shopping literally at that store. And I make sure they see that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I'm paying you and you're buying my product.
That's what it should be.
Win-win.
I love it. And now, so you're coming out east, or looking to come out east?
Hoping to. Yes.
We have retailers listening. Granola Girl.
Yes.
East.
Good product.
East Coast,
Take us
maybe.
on Metro.
Good product.
Yeah.
You're calling us.
Metro.
Longos would be good. Longos would fit
would
Longos
be-
in a heartbeat.
Longos should be right
Longos
there.
could do it easily.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. What's the other one? The sort of the convenient Rabas?
Healthy Planet.
Healthy Planet would be amazing.
Oh, yeah,
Rabas is
Well, I've been to one downtown Toronto. They carried stuff.
Rabas downtown Toronto isn't representative of all the other
Isn't it?
Rabas.
Well, I've only been to the ones downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
Can't forget that one.
Yeah.
Organic
Healthy
Garage.
Plains, Organic Garage, Noah's.
Noah's could do it.
Interesting place, right? Those guys are all good places to be.
Big Carrot. I hear about that one.
Big
Oh, yeah,
Carrot.
big carrots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think we have some Big Carrot listeners.
Big carrot would be a
Nice.
good one.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a bunch of ex-Target folks at Big Carrot.
She's really good too. I
okay.
can't remember her name. I've met her. She's really bright and like just gets her shit. Like she's really good. That would be a really good
people.
one.
Step up here.
I'm making a list.
Yeah, that'd be a really good one.
Yeah. And then, are you in well.ca as well?
I'd say
like, do you do
well.ca
online?
I'd be on a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to look
Well.ca
into
would kill
that.
this product.
Yeah.
Are they a fulfillment center?
No, they're kind of like health and beauty. They're an online health and beauty store, basically.
Yeah.
Like a
Do
really
they ship
nice
your product
Amazon.
for you?
Yeah. No, they're classic retail though. They'll buy the product from you.
I think I know the buyer.
So
I think it's Danielle Stumpo.
Cook me up.
yeah, it could be.
Yeah, remind me later, and I'll send you.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure she might be your category, and if she's not, she's really sweet. She'll help you out.
And the women totally champion for Granola Girl. I was going to say that's how I got into the warehouse.
Okay.
So whose warehouse? Did you get in the Save-Ons at that time?
Over Weighty warehouse.
Yeah.
I get a call, of course. How I got into Save-On was through a customer comment card, a genuine one.
Wow.
So not the ones you
listened.
sent in every week.
What? They're an
I never did
ungenuine
that.
comment cards? What?
I never done
I
that.
have no idea what you're talking about.
I was just joking. I don't know anybody who would do such things. 30 times a week.
How many email accounts do you need to open?
Whatever it takes. Whatever
Hilarious.
it takes. And
Oh
now
my
with
gosh,
VPN,
this
you can
is-
hide the IP, so you can be anywhere all the time.
Yeah.
This is like such a real and true podcast.
How else do you
love
do it?
There are many other ways.
I
Share
realize
it.
that, but you know
Share
what?
it.
Those ways can take 50 years. Sometimes you
Yeah.
don't cheat and just push the damn system.
Yeah. You
Because
might
it's the
start
right thing
noticing
to
patterns.
do.
Well, this was probably before we knew we could do that.
Yeah.
Somebody sent in a request and I get a call from Susan. Someone has requested you. And of course I was, quiet cheering at the top of my lungs when I get this call, and they actually followed through. So when I was handed over to her assistant, Susan's assistant, she just took me through each and every step, how to fill out these forms, right? You know, you go online, you go through the back end, you're filling out all these, you know, G-tins and tie highs and things like that. But
the forms,
she
so many
saw
forms.
an opening. She saw an opening. She knew we were doing well in the stores, and she her name is Laura. I'm gonna totally acknowledge her. We're connected on LinkedIn too. Laura contacted me one day and said, April, there's an opening at the warehouse. I've been waiting for this. I'm excited to tell you we've got a spot for you.
Wow.
And I don't know what they charge now to get a listing fee for the warehouse, but I think it's a lot higher than what I paid, because they were still figuring out local. They were just putting their local shelves up, and they needed to fill it at all the stores. And luckily, we were already performing well, and they said this is going to go to every single store.
So that never happens. So
That never happens.
It's an amazing story. Because
it was Laura.
If we have listeners, I don't want you to.
Don't get.
Never happens.
Not the course.
Like what happened here is amazing, but it never happens.
You never get the call.
Doesn't happen.
You never get a call from a buyer
happen.
going, "I've been waiting. I've been thinking about you."
Yeah, not going to happen.
You know what? It happened with Spud.
Did it?
Then I didn't hear them for another 2 or 3 years, because they were going through changes.
Yeah.
And here I got, a little ahead of myself and excited, and I was like, oh my God, everyone, I'm going to be in Spud. Yeah. But I never got the PO.
Yeah.
And so I'd see them every year. What's going on?
Right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's here's the carrot.
Until the PO's there, it's just talk.
It's not an order.
Yeah.
It's just talk.
It's so like having been at a bunch of startups, it is that moment like when you land when you land an investor, everybody at the startup stops talking about the investment until the very last signature is done, and you can practically hear the the pen on the check. Otherwise, you just shut up and stop talking, right? Like because you
and even the pen on the check until it clears.
Yeah, you don't know. You don't know. Stop talking, right? Like it's like, ooh,
don't get your hopes up.
Yeah, no. It's that quiet period of
and the big question is, what do you do in the meantime?
Yeah.
Do I approach 10 more stores? Do I approach 100 more stores? Yes.
Yeah.
And what if all those 100 stores said yes at the same time? Can I produce? Do I have staff? Do I have stock? Can I afford inventory? Do I have enough bags? Those darn bags.
If you run out of bags, that's not 15 minutes.
No.
That's 2 months.
Yeah.
Depends where they come from.
Yeah. Then all of a sudden 20,000 bags.
Oh, I'm not quite ready.
Right? Like. Yeah.
So again, you don't want to buy more bags than you need unless you know someone's going to buy them, and then when they buy them, do you have enough?
Exactly.
I think the other one that we've heard from listeners that generally surprise because that first moment when you get the big order, you kind of land with somebody big. Most people kind of like run away. But were they clear about how many stores you were going into? You were going into, at that point you were already in a bunch of stores. Like when you got the warehouse slot, did you know how many stores you were going to in terms of distribution? Like this is kind of key for, new brands as well, right? Because you assume. I'm not even sure how many times we've heard that from people going, I thought I was going in all of them. I'm only in 10 or 15 or,
No, I did ask, and we were in all of them in BC, and then they opened a warehouse in Alberta.
Okay.
And then, we get notifications. Oh, we're opening, 7 more stores in the next couple of months. What kind of promotions can you do? So it was pretty clear to me that I would be in every store, but it's just about communication. Yeah. And it's a quick, easy email away.
Yeah.
It's learning how to ask that.
Yeah, it's really key.
Most people here, I got lists, then they run.
Yeah.
And they're thinking 180, and it's not 180. It was 6.
No. Yeah.
Or 50, or whatever the number is. And at that point, without asking the question and thinking it through, like you could overproduce.
Well, I had this conversation with London Drugs buyers too. I said, do we want to be in all the stores?
Yeah.
Because there were some stores like, okay, I'm just going to say Okotoks because that came across my mind the other day. I'm like, are people in Okotoks going to buy it? Or is it just going to get stale dated because they're just not granola eaters?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, should we focus on the top performing stores, or should we just be in every store? Because it's really hard to get a demo opportunity, in a province or place that I can't get to.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So I really wanted to kind of reward the high performing stores with more demos and more promotions, rather than focusing on the weaker ones. And I'm not sure what the word out there, the correct thing to do is, but I think it is, right? Encourage the stores that are performing well to sell more.
Yeah. When you come out east, you have to ask because the guys
Which
out
stores?
east are, I don't know if it's an oversight or operationally they don't think about those things, but they're not super clear about where you go.
I see.
Yeah. On more than a dozen occasions I've heard that, like,
yeah, and that's all
what?
of them. That's not any one.
I'm going where? Or that's it? Like, where am I going? I thought you said, so a lot of those.
I got a Walmart listing. It's in Saskatchewan in northern Alberta.
Yeah.
But you know what?
Quebec, like there's 6 stores. Like what?
Yeah.
How many big carrots are there?
I don't know, actually.
Is there one?
I don't know. No, I think there's something like 15 to 20 of them.
I don't think it's
okay.
that
Well,
many,
what about Organic Garage? Is that a single store, single independent?
No, I think Organic is 3 or 4. They're like Fresh and Wild, I think. So they're kind of
okay. Give me one store, like a single store that does well. I'm happy to have that one single store.
Yeah.
Like it could be a really high performing store. It doesn't have to be a whole chain.
Yeah.
So
the only challenge you have from here, though, remember, you got to get it there, eh?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I've got distributors who are across Canada for the same price.
Oh.
See, that's good. Then. So you built that in.
That's good.
So if you have someone in East who's a distributor, as long as they do DSD, or it depends on what it is. If it's I know it's DC, it doesn't matter. But it's got to make sure to call in on the accounts you want to call on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a national sales rep that I'm working with. Okay. So he makes the trips out east. And I will. when someone invites me to stay at their Airbnb for CHFA East, right? Aren't we going to do that?
Oh,
got to get that penthouse, baby. I got to figure out
for one room.
I got to figure out how to do this thing. We talked about this the other day. April and I had coffee last week, so we're going to CHFA as well.
Okay.
But hotels are so expensive, and I don't want to stay at the airport.
Because it's the
but I don't want to buy the hotel.
Where's CHFA being held? Is that the Toronto Congress Center or is it downtown?
Where's the Congress Center? No, it's not. It's sort of by. No, it's downtown. It's by Union, between Union Station and I think like the CNN kind of.
Oh, the convention center.
That one.
Ugh.
Well, hey, listen, I didn't pick the place.
No, it's not that. It's just that the Airbnbs aren't going to be super compelling there either.
Oh, I don't care if I stay right there. Toronto.
Uber.
Stay up on Queen. Stay up on, Queen West or King West. I don't care where we stay.
Yeah.
I've been at 15 blocks. I mean, it's not a big deal.
I'll look for you. Like, how many rooms are you at now? Like, how many people you got staying in this place now?
I don't know, man. I think I got 4 booths.
Like 12 rooms, 13 rooms, maybe.
We're just gonna rent the whole building.
Yeah.
I'll take it all.
Okay, I'll look for you.
Listen, I'm trying to find a freebie. Are you kidding me? I don't want to pay. I'm trying to find someone who's going to support me.
We're trying to crash in your basement suite, Phil.
You can. It's actually kind of cozy in here. Like I've got a studio in my basement. Oh well, I'm sitting in the studio, so somebody could definitely sleep in here. We'd have to move around some musical instruments and everything, but
I'll bug Luch.
Yeah.
It'll work.
It'll work.
Good. I got a buddy in Leslieville. I can go down there. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's all good.
We're coming to the end. So what I did want to do is get you to share so we can keep talking, and then I'll kind of edit out some parts from here on in. But I did want to kind of get that in. Do you want to tell people where they can find you on socials or on email if you want to give that out, and then where they can buy product as well.
Or if there's a retailer and they need to get a hold of you.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's definitely a website, thegranolagirl.ca.
Okay.
I also have a personal website, aprilmaybelia.com.
Okay.
And on social, Instagram, The Granola Girl, consistent with the Facebook page. I also have my personal Instagram, April May Belia, so you can see more of the lifestyle coaching that I do and the presentations, which I absolutely love to do and spread another kind of message. And for buyers, any inquiries,
contact her at all of them.
Social,
screaming,
website.
yelling, stalking my house, whatever it takes.
Get my number from Kenny.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
I will share that happily. I might have to screen you a little bit first.
Kenny has my contact information. Like,
excellent.
call him. That
absolutely all good.
You can order it London Drugs online.
Okay.
They'll deliver anywhere across Canada.
Okay.
Same with another little small store, but they're really big now. Vegan Supply will deliver anywhere in the world.
Okay. Wow.
So if you want to send Granola Girl to your auntie in Amsterdam, send it over. It costs $20. That's it.
That's actually really decent.
I know.
Amazing.
I know someone who ordered it in Amsterdam from Vegan Supply and asked her how much they charged. It was $20.
They're booming. Booming.
That's amazing.
Booming.
They might have a European fulfillment center too.
Who knows?
And who else online? Yeah, I don't sell direct online, but we do have inquiries for bulk too.
Okay.
For no packaging.
Okay. And then I will stop by Longo's and fill in a comment card.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, I have a
wow.
I have a really good Longo's outside.
And then Kathy will go by and fill out a comment card.
Yeah. And then all the kids. I have 3 kids as well, so all 3 kids can fill out forms, and then maybe we can get a class campaign going.
Okay, so I've got to ask you, Phil. Yes. Have you tasted Granola Girl? I'm going to have to send you a bag now.
No, I've never tasted.
He's already promoting it, and he hasn't even tried it.
Yeah.
So that's
like this is how it works. You're a friend of Kenny. You're a friend of mine. So this is it. So
roll, baby.
Yeah. No, I love it. Okay.
Cool.
We can keep talking as well, but I did want to say thank you for coming on. I think hearing your story helps because we have a lot of folks that listen to us. About 5 of them. We
6 on a good day.
Yeah, 6
times 100.
Yeah. And I think that those stages we run into a lot, right? Because they're tough, right? Like they're tough for people to try and figure out how to do this for a living, how to navigate the water. So I think having you on and hearing your story is important to them. So thank you for doing that.
And having guides like myself or Kenny, we're really, and yourself, we're really here to help, hold your hand when those speed bumps come, hopefully prevent you from making a lot of mistakes that we've seen or experienced ourselves.
Yeah.
And just get you going.
Take advantage of it. We always tell
go
people,
for the dream.
Yeah.
And we're gonna save you time, energy, money.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
want to fast track
100%.
or learn the hard way?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, it's good. Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks, April.
This was fun.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
You have a really good radio voice.
Kenny does.
Feels kind of sexy, eh?
Phil, it must be your fancy microphone.
He's a big shot. He's a big shot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like a filter there.
Yeah, I've had, I've done podcasts before. I like them. If I could figure out how to do it full time, I'd just sit here in my studio and record a mic all the time.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to do that yet. So not yet.
Well, I look forward to meeting you in real life.
Yes, CHFA.
Make that happen.
I love it. I really will. Do you want me to go on and have a look at Airbnb and try and find you some spots, or what do you guys want me to do?
I think we're pretty much committed. Well, my distributor is going to be there.
Okay.
And I know I didn't go last year, but
I've never
this
been
might
to
be
the
the
East.
year to go.
Yeah,
Me
I've
neither,
been.
never.
I've been to West. I've been to Expo. No, Phil, I got a good. I've got 3 booths that.
Yeah. You're working 3 booths. I heard you.
I can't even work at one. Right? I mean, it's just not going to happen. Oh, I don't like working. They all know that. I don't know why they keep asking me. What am I going to do?
No, you.
I like wandering.
You're like a celeb,
me
man.
too.
Like,
I like going to see people and chatting and hanging out.
Kenny, we'll go hand in hand and we'll be like
Absolutely.
the power couple.
Oh, I'm all over it. You kidding me? Absolutely.
Duplicate ourselves.
Exactly. Oh, geez, no, don't do that.
Oh no.
That's a little too much for the world to handle, my dear.
Yeah.
One's enough.
Kenny, we should think about that. Maybe we need to do a live show there.
I'd love to.
Maybe
Yeah,
I think,
interview
we
people
just
on the
record
spot.
and interview people.
Oh, you know
over
how many people
there
we could have? It would be ridiculous.
Yeah, I
Set
think
up
so.
a booth.
Seriously. Absolutely.
Let me figure out audios because we got to figure out how to get. We can't walk around and just record off our phones because it'll be terrible. So I just got to figure out what portable audio sound like. You know, like what that looks like, what it sounds
Get
like.
a clip-on mic or something.
Yeah, we'll need some
Luca was
lavaliers and yeah.
Luca was doing it. Luca did it when we were
Yeah.
doing for Aaron's video.
Okay.
He had it all hooked up, and the sound was fantastic.
Okay.
Don't ask me what he did. You can talk to Luke.
Well, I've got the one lavalier, right? So I could hook myself up, but I got to figure out how to do both of us, so we get the tracks moving. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to do a lot of magic to splice us together because it'll be terrible. So, yeah.
Okay, kiddies.
All right.
I got to go. Hit
Excellent.
That's great.
Yeah,
All right.
and I'm going to bed. It's midnight.
Have a good evening.
Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks
thanks
so
for
much.
doing this.
Thank you.
This was great.
Thanks for doing this. All right.
Anytime. There's got to be a part 2, I think. The sequel.
I think so.
Oh, absolutely.
I like it.
I'd love to.
I like it.
Thanks.
All right.
Bye,
Thanks,
guys.
Okay.
We shall
Bye.
chat later. Ciao, ciao.
Take care.
Ciao.
Bye.
All right, that's the end of this Commerce Life. We'll be back soon with the next episode. Thank you for joining us. We hope you enjoyed it. Give us feedback. Tell us what you think. Subscribe, like us, join us, share us, tell your friends about us. And we hope to see you next time with more commerce news.